Supervisors for November 5th, 2025. Please silence your cell phones. We do not have a pastor, so we'll have a moment of silence, and after that, I'll ask Supervisor Goodman to lead us in the pledge. So if you'll stand. Thank you. Supervisor Goodman?
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call this Pinal County Board of Supervisors meeting to order. I want to welcome everybody. Announce that we're having an executive session. That is item 17. It'll be heard at noon, around noon. It's a coordinated time that we're set up for outside counsel. And with that, we will move to item number 1, the county manager's report.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman. I want to thank all of the elections team and all of the poll workers, volunteers, and staff who have been and are continuing to support the election. There was about a 19% turnout. There are about 2,500 ballots ready to be tabbed. There'll be an update probably early this afternoon, and then there's about 6,500 that still need to be processed, verified, and tabbed. And so thank you to Ms. Lewis and the whole team. Another thing I just wanted to show a video on is we know that you all know that there's been a lot of interest and potential at our air park in the southern part of our county, especially with the ability to try to get a grant and federal funding for a tower. And so wanted to give the public a little bit of history on our airports and hopefully where we're headed here in the near future.
My name is Jim Petty, Airport Operations Manager.
My first name is Parrish, last name is Treweek. I'm the airport coordinator for Pinal County.
Pinal County owns and operates 2 airports located within the county, San Manuel Airport and Pinal Air Park. My job is to keep them running. We do financial, grant planning, budgets, operation and maintenance of the airports, vegetation, making sure the equipment's taken care of. There's a lot of commercial activity at Pinal Air Park. We have about 5 companies out there that do what's called MRO work, maintenance, repair, and overhaul. One of the things we do over there a lot is interface with the businesses that are employing the people.
Most big corporations, when they come in, one of the first things they ask is if there's an airport in the local area. So that's a big draw in itself.
Each airport has its own story of why it exists. We kind of lucked into ours, you might say. Pinal Air Park was built during World War II. After the war, the U.S. government needed to dispose of all these assets that it didn't need anymore. So a lot of times it went to the jurisdiction that the airport was in. So that's how we got that one back in 1948. San Manuel here was originally built by Magma, the mining company.
They wanted an airport out here to bring in executives. It was maintained by Magma Copper Company until BHP bought the company out.
But it needed development and rehabilitation for the runways.
They wanted it gone. They were going to level it.
So a deal was worked out a long time ago that the mine would lease it for like $1 a year, and in return that would make it eligible for a grant to redo the runway.
The county then hired an airport manager. It just took off from there.
The airports that the county owns and operates operate in the black. A lot of general aviation airports have to be subsidized by the jurisdiction's general fund. We don't have that issue.
Samuel Airport as well as Pinal are funded by aircraft fuel taxes.
They're paying a landing fee. We get grant funds from the state and the feds. And then, of course, we have lease and permit revenue for hangars we rent or land we lease or permit at the air park that goes to help with the operation and maintenance of the airport.
So the majority of the improvements are done through those. It's not taxpayer money.
When you hit that point where the FAA determines you do have a valid need for a tower, what that says is the activity, efficiency levels, and the safety levels have all reached a point that warrant a tower. Pinal Air Park selected the firms to do the site selection and environmental for the air traffic control tower. Our operation count will be able to grow with the efficiencies that a tower provides, and more importantly, the safety of everyone using the airport is enhanced. Once the tower is operational, that puts us in a whole new realm of operation and provides a ton of possibilities. Activity is getting larger, more people are being hired, it's growing. They provide a good draw for businesses. Here at San Manuel, we work with the mining companies.
So we constantly have exploratory things going on, as well as military and customs border patrol work out here quite a bit also.
The Department of Defense brings their helicopters out here once in a while to train. Forest fighting efforts are based out of here when there's a local fire.
For Samuel, the current modern airport, we're keeping it up to standards. It's a big draw for people.
It is an attractant, something that might cause a tipping point to go in the favor of a business coming here, which in turn provides jobs.
Yep, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. That'll bring us to, I'm sorry, I turned my page. Item number 2 on the agenda, which is district updates. We'll start with Rich this time. We'll go from right to left.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Chairman. It's been busy as usual. 10 months in office, and I'm loving every minute of it, and happy I'm here serving the people of Pinal County. So I was able to attend my first Santan Town Council, and I was able to just get up and speak for 3 minutes and just give them a little bit of support and let them know that I'm there for them. So I had that meeting, and then I had my cleanup in Hidden Valley Thunderbird Farms. I didn't get the exact number, but it was probably somewhere around 500 cars that came in 2 days. Great cleanup, lots of tires, lots of everything. So we're looking forward to having 2 a year, and I want to thank the staff. Public Works was amazing. Those guys went out there. They did their job. They were happy. I brought donuts. I bought burritos. Very happy men. Thank you, Jeff, for reminding me to bring those, okay? Also, attended ASU Decision Theater with a few of my colleagues. That is something I'm going to let them gentlemen speak about it. I don't want to steal any of their thunder, but ASU Decision Theater is going to be something great for Pinal County. Also, I attended some meetings with some locals. Thunderbird Fire came in to visit me. They want to know what's going on in Hidden Valley Thunderbird Farms area. So I was able to meet with the one of the women firefighters. She came out to visit me. And let's see what else we did. I did my first official meeting with the retirement fund for the Sheriff's Department. Mr. Miller decided to have me be the chairman of that, and it was a 15-minute meeting. It actually went very smooth. I appreciate that, and it went very smooth, and again, we're making sure we take care of everybody. Again, I meet with a lot of constituents in District 1. My Maricopa office is very, very busy. People know I'm there, so they come in, and we are constantly meeting with constituents. Then we had Stagecoach Days in the city of Maricopa. Stagecoach Days is an old 20-year festival that we were doing. We backed away from it to do the Wild West, and this is nostalgic for us, so it was brought back, Stagecoach Days. We had vendors out there, plenty of food. Then from 28th to the 30th, again with a bunch of my colleagues, we were able to go to CSA, and I'll let Mr. Miller talk about that because that's his gig. Then again, more constituents coming in, And then we'll have a gentleman who's going to come up, call to the public, SBA. He'll give us a little 3-minute speech on that. I met with him yesterday. It's about small business. God forbid we have issues, whether it's flooding, fires. So it's very important for him to get this information out. And then last night I was able to attend Maricopa City Council meeting and just show up there and make sure that I know what's going on in my district, as I said. Thank you very much, Jim.
Okay. Jeff?
Thank you, Chair. No, you're done.
I apologize. No, did you want me to do the video now or later? Oh, I'm sorry. There's a video.
Not a video. Go ahead.
So right now we're looking at resources, ways that we might address issues, reason why they moved to Pinal County. The information that we're conveying with these meetings is that Pinal County is conducting a housing plan for unincorporated areas. It's focused on housing affordability, maintaining housing quality, and making sure that people have economically sustainable neighborhoods, communities, and places to live. I think we know what got us to where we're at, and that's a lot of people moving in. We are really focused on the unincorporated areas, and of course some of them are more populated than others. So yeah, people have kind of differing perspectives. I think people who live in more densely populated areas look at housing very differently than people who live in more rural areas.
A lot of the residents out here have horses, chickens, cows, all sorts of farm animals, and goats, and that they like that out here. They want to get input from everywhere, not just, city areas. They want to get the rural areas because, again, if the questions are asked, they at least have input from the people, no matter where it is in the rural area. It
was fun to hear the very different perspectives. I mean, there were clearly people who do not want more density, and that's to be expected when people have chosen a lower density area to live in. But I thought they were very respectful of each other's differing opinions, and there would seem to be a general agreement that they're not anti-housing affordability so much as they're anti-housing density.
When it comes to pricing, I hear people say affordable housing. And I ask that question all the time. What is affordable housing? Okay, what's affordable to me may not be affordable to somebody. So they're looking for something in around the $50,000 to $75,000 a year income that can afford. But what is that number? Is that number $1,500 a month, $2,000, $3,000 a month?
It's a hot topic pretty much everywhere right now. It's certainly a hot topic here, and it's because of the vast amount of growth. We've seen nearly 40,000 new households in the county. That's countywide, including in the incorporated areas, between 2017 and 2022. So that's just that 5-year boom.
They say the American dream is owning a house. I can't disagree with that, but not everybody can afford a house. I want a Ferrari. I can't get a Ferrari. I don't make enough money. My point being is apartments are great for starters. What I would like to see is apartments do like we did here in the city of Maricopa a few years ago, that you get a refund back at the end of maybe 10 years. They give you $10,000 or whatever the number may be to go buy a house. So you're renting this, apartment or a house or whatever the case may be, and that way they're getting something back, and now they have a down payment, because that's one of the biggest problems people are having, is putting a down payment down.
When we talk about housing affordability and housing sustainability, we're not talking about people who are just poor people. We're talking about people, hardworking families, sometimes with people with 2 or 3, even 3 jobs, who are struggling because the costs have gotten so high.
You don't know what you don't know, so if you don't ask the questions, you can't get good answers. And you can't just get answers from the supervisors. You need it from the people. The people live in these areas. You got to get their input. No matter what we do, we always need input from the people in the area.
Okay, thank you.
Now you're done. Thank you.
I need to say one thing. Martina, her and Heather came by to see me about 2 months ago, or whenever they started the surveying. And I worked with Martina well over 20 years ago when I was running the housing department at the city of Casa Grande. It was so funny when we sat down and looked at each other. I know you, you know me. And we got to reminisce. I'm looking forward to her report, though, because she knows what she's doing, and that's going to be some good information for us to be able to work and go forward with. So I wanted to add that.
And thank you to Heather.
Yeah, and to Heather. They both did a fantastic job. I am looking forward to that report, though. Go ahead, Jeff.
Do I get to talk now?
You do.
Thank you.
You're up.
No, we had one of those meetings out at Arizona City at the library. It was a good meeting. And it is good to get input from everybody all around the county because, as Rich says, it's different everywhere you talk. This last couple weeks here, ASU Decision Theater for the Regional Transportation Planning, about, 30 of us here? Something like that. Working on a regional transportation plan. Nothing's going to happen tomorrow, of course, but it's to get a plan. It's a really cool AI system where you put all the information. It shows where the sewer lines are, water, all utilities, expected growth, where roads should go, not where we think, hey, that's a really cool spot, and find out, oh, whoops, can't do that. But so it'll be a really interesting project for the next year and a half or so. The CSA Summit was good, and again, I'll give that over to Steve here. Apache Junction Library the other day to steal some of Surtees' thunder here. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Say it also.
Okay, good. Then I won't say anything. Anyway, Arizona at Work, ribbon cutting up there. You can talk about the rest of it. And I did like on the video for the air park that operates in the black because it used to be a CIA base also, so that was kind of black ops. I thought that was kind of a funny tongue to cheek. So anyway, but just things going on. Off to a couple speaking engagements this week over at Windmill Winery for the Doty London Group, and business as usual. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Supervisor Surtee.
So we're still recovering from all the rain we had, and Public Works is still out there trying to get to every place where there was damage, and they kind of triage it, the worst first. And so if you have driveways that are affected by county roads that we have not gotten to, let us supervisors know, and we will get them on that. So they've done a great job so far, and they're still out there doing it. And like Supervisor McClure mentioned, this Monday he and I attended at the Apache Junction Library. It's a pretty good concept. It's the Pinal County Workforce Board, and they're partnering with the library out there that if you're seeking employment, they have all the resources and computers and tie-ins to different employers that are looking for work, including the LG battery factory that's in District 2. And so it's a pretty great concept. Leo, how would they get on that? Would they go to our county website and go to which department?
Economic development and workforce development, but I would imagine it's also on the AJ City Library website. If not, we'll make sure to work with them to get a link for them on there.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Goodman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, to report on our cleanup that we had this last couple weeks ago, a week ago Saturday. It was very successful. We had several hundred vehicles as well. One thing that I've noticed is that a lot more individuals are attending these cleanups, which means that less garbage is going into our deserts and things of that nature. So I think this has been a pretty successful events that we've been putting on for every quarter each of us in our districts do. On the November 29th, we are having our first Jingle Jog, which is a community event. We have many sponsors that will be providing breakfast to the residents of Santan Valley at the Poston Butte High School from 7 to 12. And so invite all those to come. Breakfast is free. Like I said, we have many donors that are like Winco that's just opened up, and other entities that are going to be sponsoring that event as well. Part of this is that this whole Jingle Jog was put together by a group that we started several years ago, and it's transformed itself, and we call it For Our Community. And it's something that the individual, it's called Care Inc., that will be wanting to meet with each of the supervisors about ultimately what they want to try to do. They're already in Chandler and Mesa and other communities, but they're having a special event on Monday at 7 p.m., and I can get you the information of that. But what they're doing is they'll be honoring our community and the things that we've accomplished over the years with this for our community, as well as other individuals or other entities that are going to be participating in that as well. The ASU Decision Theater, maybe to go a little bit more in depth on that, that's something that we should have had years ago, and unfortunately we didn't, and especially for some of our regions and areas that we have, and I think this is going to be, it's taken technology to a whole new level is what it's doing for us. And with us being able to plan within the next year, a year and a half, and come up with some very detailed information, I'm reminded of a show that, and I know you love stories from me, but my son used to watch Build It Bigger. And there was a program on there where in Dubai they were building a huge casino resort, and it was on 3 different towers with a park system on the top. And the architect of that facility developed the software because they had 3 years to build it, and it had a day-by-day where they needed to be in that process. Well, the cool thing wasn't necessarily that, because they had multiple contractors, but that software detected where problems were going to be so they could redesign things before it even happened. And that's what this decision theater is actually going to do for us in our roads and infrastructure here within the Pinal County area. A lot of other things going on. The Santan Valley city, town, I'm not sure what they're going to call it yet, but anyway, it's a town. You know more than I do. Thank you. Town of Santan Valley.
Town of Santan Valley.
They're progressing very well. They're having their regular meetings. The new council that we've appointed seems to be getting a handle on everything. They'll be choosing their town manager here shortly to help move things along, and then start working on their IGAs and everything else. So, with that, Mr. Chair, I yield to you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. We did attend the CSA summit this last week in Yuma. For a political junkie like me, it's like the Super Bowl for me. we get to go in there and debate and discuss potential legislation that we want to take before the legislature this coming year. We started out with 17 items. I don't even know that we ended up with maybe 3 or 4 that will be actual legislation, several resolutions, which gives a position of the counties going forward. But it's a great opportunity, and I thank my colleagues for attending, because it's a great opportunity to collaborate not only with ourselves but other county supervisors, really understand the similarities we have and sometimes the differences we have, and where CSA can be a real positive for all of us. I'll have a more detailed report after they kind of get it all summarized for us. But they have launched something that I think I want to make sure we make it available on our website. But they actually have a podcast that they're doing now from CSA that specializes on particular topics. It might be taxes, it might be funding, the legislature and how it all goes through. It'll give you opportunity, and anybody can watch them. They can listen to them. They're pre-recorded and they're available on the website. So we're going to set that up to where that's available to the public as well. It's a great educational piece. CSA continues to be a real asset to all of us, all the counties, all 15 counties, and we're utilizing them, I think, in one of the best ways. So, again, thank you, colleagues, for joining us there, and I hope it was a learning opportunity as well for my colleagues. With that being said, I do want to announce that we do have a veterans program this afternoon at 2 o'clock. It'll be upstairs. Ask anybody to attend that would like to. A little special thanks to our veterans, which we never really probably recognize them as to the level we should. And with that, though, I believe I have a video of the Randolph. Now, this Randolph video. I take very little credit for it. I was just the lucky guy to be in the right place at the right time. But I think it shows some real positives that the county worked with the community of Randolph and SRP, and a good thing has come out of that, and I'm happy and proud to be part of it, but it certainly was not me. It was the county as a whole and these 5 supervisors, because we had to approve a lot of the things that took place there. So the video.
Good morning. We are going to ask everyone to take their seats. The secret of change is to focus all of our energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Now, we're here to usher in new beginnings as we celebrate the groundbreaking of the Randolph Cultural Center.
They're knitted tight together here in this community. They all back each other, they all stand with each other, and it's a wonderful thing to see when you get to meet these folks.
I am so excited about what's going on.
This community has been here for 100 years.
Now here we are.
Getting that historical designation, that was the biggest thing.
There's a lady that wrote a book that grew up here that really does tell the history of this for many, many years. We're trying to feed some more life back into this community for them.
We got new sidewalks, we have new roads, we have fire hydrants, something we never had in the past.
I think the first thing we did was the fire hydrants. That was a big deal. We got Arizona Water on board, and they designed fire hydrant layout and location. Then we started with the sidewalks and the asphalt, the streets, the street signs, the monument signs, the lighting. We've done a tremendous amount of stuff through here. It has come so far. Now, a community building they can be proud of, that they can use as a meeting place, that they can use for recreation. This is something that will hopefully rejuvenate this community.
It's going to have a gymnasium, a basketball court, going to have offices inside. It's going to have a kitchen because we have a lot of great cooks.
This was a real community effort to put on this project. SRP, City of Coolidge, Arizona Water, ADOT, the county, all came together to create this community upgrades.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm excited. I believe the community is excited because of the possibilities.
It's theirs. They get to use it for their purposes and their needs. It's going to be nice. This would not have happened without everybody participating and pitching in and pulling the wagon the same direction. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3. This is a discussion, approval, or disapproval of a proclamation, and I believe Supervisor Rich is going to present or introduce it, and then we'll have to vote on it and then read to us.
Yeah, so this proclamation is very near and dear to my heart. Both of my parents both passed away in 15 and 17 from Alzheimer's and dementia. I took care of them for the last 7 years of their life. They both were in the same bedroom in my house where they passed away, and I was honored and to take care of them. And we need to really pay attention to this because, my wife being a nurse practitioner was able to figure it out at an earlier stage for my mother, and my father, unfortunately, literally went in weeks. It just hit him. It shut his body down. So Mary Grace, who is going to read the proclamation, it's very near and dear to her heart, too, and I'll let her when she comes up here. But, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve item number 3 as written.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it.
Mary Grace?
Are you in the audience?
She's here.
Oh, okay. Yes.
First, I'd like to say thank you. To my knowledge, this is the first county that's doing a proclamation. So thank you, and hopefully other counties will now follow in your lead. My name is Mary Grace. I am an Alzheimer's daughter. Long story short, 8 years ago, I moved my parents from Texas into Maricopa with us. And I immediately saw red flags with my mom, so I got her diagnosed immediately. Unfortunately, it was end stage. They never told me, and she passed away within 5 months of that diagnosis. 2 months after losing her, my dad was diagnosed as well. He's now in his 8th year. The difference between the two is the earlier diagnosis, which is the whole reason why we need to make Alzheimer's awareness key in our communities. The sooner the diagnosis, the more time that you get with your loved one. Time is crucial to a family, and it's a special gift that we can't afford to lose with Alzheimer's. So last night at the city council meeting in Maricopa, we made our proclamation for the 5th year, and somebody asked me, what does that mean? Why are we proclaiming it? What does this do? Well, it's a self-assessment for you to do in your communities. What are you doing to help your families that are dealing with Alzheimer's? As you're growing your communities, how are you growing your resources? Like, for instance, in Maricopa, we don't have adult daycares. We don't have nursing homes. We don't have a funeral home. We don't have a cemetery, which unfortunately is what you need when you have Alzheimer's. So things like that, we need to do a self-assessment. The more support and resources our communities have, the better off we are. I even had a fire personnel come up to me as a first responder and thank me for what I do. I said, thank me? Why? I'm thanking you. And he says, no, you don't understand. When you're advocating for awareness, these families are getting the help and support that they need. That helps us because we know are not going out to calls for wanderers who are not diagnosed. So it takes a village, and we need to grow our villages in each and every community. So that's what this is about.
Okay, well, thank you. You want to read the proclamation? I like being the first.
Try to do this without crying. Whereas November is Alzheimer's Awareness Month, a time to honor individuals living with Alzheimer's, as well as their family members and caregivers who face the challenges of this illness each day. And whereas more than 6.2 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's disease, a form of dementia that impairs memory, thinking, judgment, and reasoning abilities, and affects behaviors, emotions, and the ability to care for oneself. And whereas there are approximately 600,000 new cases of Alzheimer's diagnosed each year in the United States. And whereas Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. And whereas more than 240,000 Arizonans provide over 377 million hours of unpaid care to their loved ones living with Alzheimer's and related dementia. And whereas the lifetime cost of care for a person living with dementia is significant, with a large portion endured by families. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Pinal County Board of Supervisors does hereby designate the month of November 2025 as Alzheimer's Awareness Month. The board encourages all Pinal County residents and employees to recognize the warning signs of dementia, seek confidential memory screenings from a qualified medical professional for themselves and their loved ones, and join the collective effort to fight this disease. Proclaimed this 5th day of November 2025. Thank you.
Don't run off.
No, hold on. We're going to come take a photo.
We have a photo coming.
This is Tori Roberg from the Alzheimer's Association. She's giving me support. So.
Okay.
I just want to say, Mary Grace last night did her presentation, and it was awesome as always. And I got to tell you, she brought her big picture of her father. And last night, first thing I did when I went home was put a picture of my mom and dad and bring it to so everybody can see who I lost.
They call it the long goodbye because you lose them over and over before that.
3, 2, 1. There we go. Thank you. I'll tell you later. All right. Order here. Gotta quit turning the pages. I know. I'm trying to get through it. There we go. Presentation, and item 4 is presentation, discussion of the Arizona Association of Counties. I think Ms. Marson, the executive director, is going to speak to this. A very close advocate and partner with County Supervisors Association. We work in tandem on a lot of issues, and we really appreciate your partnership with us all the time. So, if you don't mind.
Thank you. And will I be using this mouse?
Got a presentation. Yeah, there we go.
Do I use the mouse or the remote? Okay. Well, thank you for having me. My name is Jennifer Marson. I'm the Executive Director at the Arizona Association of Counties. And as the Chair mentioned, CSA is our sister organization. We're right next door to each other. Craig and I talk all the time. Our staffs talk all the time. So what I've learned in my 24 years at the association is that if I were to send you a written report, an annual report about what we do and who we are, you probably wouldn't read it. You would have it and you would file it, but you probably wouldn't read it because we're all busy and we've got other things to do. So I come and give those annual reports in person so that maybe we can have a dialogue or a conversation, maybe it prompts some questions. So that's what I'm going to do today. This is typically a much longer report, but I'm going to try and do it in about maybe 10 minutes max. If there are questions, I'm happy to take them. So if I'm going too fast, that's why I'm going fast, but feel free to stop me at any time. Okay, so the Arizona Association of Counties was created in 1968. We are a nonpartisan, nonprofit association with essentially two branches. The 501c6 is the branch that allows us to do the lobbying work that we do, and then the C3 is our ACO Foundation. We run all of our educational programs, our conferences through the C3. We have a volunteer board of directors, and Pinal has a long-standing history of being in leadership roles. Michael McCord, your current treasurer, is a former president of our association. Dodie Doolittle, Laura Dean Lytle over the history, and we have several of the constitutional officers here today that also participate in ACO. The recorder, the school superintendent, Assessor Wolf is here, the sheriff, I believe, is here as well. So we just love working with Pinal County. Our board has one representative from every county, so there's geographical representation. Jill, the school superintendent, is the Pinal County rep on our board. We have one representative from every elected office. The treasurers are currently represented on our board by Treasurer McCord. And then we have 5 officers that are elected by our full membership every year. Dana, the recorder, is one of our officers. She will be moving up through the leadership chain. She's currently our 3rd vice president. But because of a resignation, she's actually going to be our 1st vice president next year, which means she will be our president in 2027. So we're very much looking forward to that. So these are the current leaders of the association. You can see they're from all over the state in all kinds of different offices. And then here's the staff: me, Megan, Gideon, Jordy, and Rachel. I've been there the longest, since December of 2002, then Megan, then Gideon, then Jordy, then Rachel. We are fully staffed at 5. I hope that you will be as impressed with the work that we do with only 5 staff members. We have 3 of us that work in the legislative space: myself, Megan, and Jordy. Gideon does our finance stuff and our event management and planning, and Rachel's sort of a hybrid position. She does some comms work, but also some legislative associate research kind of stuff. I'm not going to go through our mission. We do a lot of great things for counties. Here's just some outcomes in advocacy really quick, right? So in terms of advocacy, we took active positions on 162 bills last legislative session in 2025. We tracked just over 500. That's pretty typical. We track between 500 and 800, which is roughly half of everything that's introduced every year, and that just speaks to the volume of work that counties do. I do want to be very clear. The 162 positions, that's something that our board makes, that decision, or our legislative policy committee. The staff at the association never chooses the position of the association. It's always informed by the feedback of the elected officials who serve throughout Arizona. In terms of our cost-saving programs, we participate in a variety of different partnerships, whether with the National Association of Counties, Nationwide Retirement Services is a good example of that, and other different programs. Stable county participation in all of those programs from an ACO perspective, so I'm happy about that. In terms of social media, we've really stepped up our engagement since we hired Rachel just over a year ago, and I'm very happy about that. I don't love the X platform as much as I loved the Twitter platform, only because pulling out your analytics to look at them is much more difficult. So while we've stepped up our engagement, it's really hard for me to find an accurate representation of how that engagement with the public has been, but we will continue to do that. I think that social media is an important tool for any organization, but especially a nonprofit association. Advocacy, again, you all know how to read. I'm not going to read this screen to you. We've already passed our general effective date for the 2025 legislative session. You can see when it started and when it ended. Definitely still continue to have tight margins in both the House and the Senate, but there was some more breathing room for the Republicans following the last election, so they have a slightly wider margin in both chambers than they've had in years past. Advocacy is our bread and butter, so that's what we're most known for, but it's not all that we can do. You can see in 2025, we had 7 bills that we were successful with, and we had 6 bills that we were unsuccessful with. The unsuccessfuls, there's lots of different reasons for that. You know, sometimes the chair just doesn't want to hear it. Sometimes it gets gummed up with some weird amendment that we never wanted on there in the first place. You just never know what's going to happen at the legislature. So as you mentioned, CSA had their summit last week. Last week, we also decided our platform for 2026. This presentation was due to the board before we had that meeting, so the slides don't include that work. We had 45 proposals that were submitted to our association. That resulted in 19 bills. So we have 19 bills that we will be trying to shepherd through the legislative process in 2026. They're all over the spectrum. We have something for law enforcement and the county attorneys. There's stuff in there for the assessors in terms of property tax. There's recording stuff both on the election side and on the recording side. So there's some JP stuff in there, some constable stuff in there. So there's lots of different legislative items that you'll see moving into 2026 from the association. Okay. But while we always carry a lot of bills, most of our work is what I call defense, right? There's all kinds of entities out in the world, and some legislators, who think they have a really good idea of what counties should do or what counties should pay for. And more often than not, we have to go down and say, I appreciate where you're coming from, but that is a dumb idea. And then we have to explain why. And so I wanted to give you a little bit of a snapshot of some of the dumb ideas that we stopped. Now, it doesn't mean we stopped them entirely on our own. Sometimes there's coalitions of people that are working on these things, but we were heavily involved in all of these issues. I'm going to go through just a couple of them. There was a bill that would have allowed hemp beverages to be sold anywhere alcohol can be sold, totally bypassing the dispensary world that the voters approved. Pardon me. Our sheriffs and county attorneys had a big problem with that. It violates what the voters picked, so that was largely the basis of our objection. That got held in the second chamber. The second one on the list is really interesting. It said that if your name is on the ballot, you can't do anything associated with administering the election. So if your names were on the ballot, you wouldn't be able to vote for canvassing that election. If Dana's name was on the ballot, she wouldn't be able to help with any of the administrative duties that the recorder is statutorily required to perform in the conduction of an election. So we were unsure about that. We managed to hold that in the second chamber as well. We've been fighting public records request legislation for years. That's a huge coalition of people who are involved in that. A big thing for voting was vote centers and precinct only. A greenhouse assessment bill that would have decimated the property tax roll, especially in Graham County. That came back. It had been dormant for about 4 years, but it came back. We stopped that. And then the last one was really interesting. It said that if you get a jury summons and you decide to be a poll worker, that being the poll worker satisfied being a juror. And I understood where the sponsor was coming from, because we are always complaining that we don't have enough poll workers, which is 100% true. But we also need jurors. And so the clerks of the court, who are the juror commissioners in 13 of our counties, were like, well, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but how that's going to decimate our jury pool as well, potentially, and we can't have that either. So we're going to try and find a more creative way to deal with the poll worker solution rather than allow jury service to count. Or I'm sorry, the other way around. So those were some of our advocacy defensive wins for last year. And then as we move into some of the other services that I think that ACO is not necessarily known for, but we do good work. We do event planning and association management. So like, for example, we work with the assessors to plan the tax conference. Those are all non-dues revenue generators for our association so that we can keep county dues low. I mentioned in the beginning, we've been around since 1968. I think we've had 6 dues increases from 1968 until now. So we really, I think, do a nice job of making sure that you're getting good value for your money, but we're not continually asking for more and more money from counties to be members of our association. We do customized legislative tracking through the platform that we use. If you ever need things to be tracked outside of CSA, for example, I know I have some departments in Yavapai who've said, hey, can you build me a tracking list for planning and zoning? Sure. Then I read bills, and anything that's in the planning and zoning, I create a list, and our system automatically sends them updates as those bills move through the process or don't throughout a legislative session. So it's been great. All of that's free, of course. Public Surplus, Cash Best, these are companies that we partner with. I never want to be a hard sell. I'm not coming in here and saying, you have to use Cash Best, you have to use Public Surplus. I just make you aware of them so that you know that they exist. These companies have been fully vetted by our board, and if counties participate in them, there's potentially non-dues revenue for the association. I turn down companies all the time because I'm not just going to have partnerships with anyone and everyone. I want to make sure that they're a good value for the county if the county chose to use them. Savvy's new. I actually was talking with Dana about this, Recorder Lewis about this a little bit ago. No one here knows my story, and that's okay, and I'm not going to share it, but I had a lot of student loan debt. I was a single mom when I went to college, right? And it really was killing me. I actually lobbied the federal government. It took me 2.5 years to get ACO qualified as a employer where you could have your student loans forgiven after you've worked there for 10 years. They finally said yes. Even after that, it was such a rigmarole. When I found this company, Savvy, which is a partnership with the National Association of Counties, I signed ACO up immediately because it's an opportunity for counties to work with their employees that do have student debt, because Savvy will help you navigate that very complicated federal student debt process. So that's a new partnership. It's only a couple of weeks old. I haven't really rolled out the marketing materials for it yet, but that is coming. That's the pricing. We can skip that. You all are participants in Nationwide. That's a long-standing program here in Pinal County. You also participate in Live Healthy, which is a prescription drug discount card. That's free for anyone in the county, employee or resident. And then the dental and medical, there's a little bit of a cost for that. It's not free. And that's meant to cover things that maybe insurance doesn't cover, right? Whether on the dental side or on the medical side. And again, because Pinal County has opted in, that's available not just to county employees, but to all of your county residents as well. Things that are coming up. Our conference is in December. We would love to have you. It's a little bit different structure than the CSA Summit, but it's our big annual conference. We have workshops, we have speakers. I always include some kind of motivational component because I think that's important. We're soliciting interest from county officials who may want to join the ACO officer team. Unfortunately, Pinal is currently excluded because our bylaws only allow one officer from any given county, and as you know, Dana's already on our officer team. So we've got to wait till Dana rotates out, and then Pinal can come back into the list. We, too, are exploring a podcast opportunity, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. I was actually very honored to be a guest on a recent CSA podcast, so Craig and I had a good time recording that. We have such a small staff. I never thought I would be able to explore this opportunity because I just don't have the bandwidth. I simply do not. And then I found some AI tools that I think are going to help me be able to do that. I have been very leery about AI. I'm total Gen X. I just want the piece of paper and I want to do the research. But I was really concerned about AI because the first iterations of it, you ask it a question and it goes out to the whole universe in the internet and finds your answer. But if the information on the internet is wrong, then your answer is wrong. I have found some platforms through some colleagues of mine in other states. If I upload a document that I create, like our property tax analysis document that we created years ago and we update every year, right? If I upload that and say, create a podcast for me based on this document that I know is correct, the technology actually sounds like two people are having a conversation about property taxes in Arizona. It's that good. And so that, I think, is going to allow ACO to move into the podcast space and provide some education about things that are going on in Arizona, especially for counties. So I'm excited about that. But here is what I'm really excited about. When I was in college, one of my professors told me you always have to have a big, audacious goal that maybe you personally are never able to get over the finish line, but maybe people who come after you will carry that baton and keep it going. So these are my two. I hinted at it a little bit. When I was younger, I was a teen mom. I was pregnant my senior year in high school. I still managed to go to college. I have a master's degree, blah, 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 all that stuff. Education is really important to me. And when I became the executive director of ACO in 2013, and I started traveling the state to meet with all the counties, inevitably I heard people say, I love living in Cochise, Pinal, Apache, Navajo. But one of the ways that I could stay here and actually raise a family here is if I go and get my degree in something and then come back and live and work in the county. But college is really expensive. So this is my big project. I would like to create an ACO scholarship program, $2,000 a year for 5 students. That's regionally. Maricopa is on its own. I'm not having all the Maricopa students compete with everybody and then suck up all the scholarship money, right? So north, south, east, west, and then Maricopa for all 4 years of their education. I think it's going to require probably a $2 million endowment in order to be able to do that. I will never come to the counties and ask you to contribute to that endowment. That's not what I will raise the money, whether it's through Helios or just fundraising activities. So that's my big goal for that. And then I just thought of this the other day when I was at a conference with my colleagues. Arizona has such a great film festival, the Phoenix Film Festival, every year. And I thought, what if we find a way to get the youth of Arizona not only more educated about counties and what they do, but more excited about counties and what they do. So if we could do a youth film festival to showcase these short 2 to 10-minute films that students create about counties in Arizona, I think that's a great media moment for counties, for ACO, for the students. And then if that interest is there, we could certainly move that festival around the state and then showcase those localities where those films are being shown. So those are my big audacious goals for the association moving forward. That's my contact information. I know there's members of the public here, but if you want to take it down, take it down. I respond to texts all hours of the day and night. I love the work that I do. I love the work that counties do. Thank you for your time, Mr. Chair, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any questions? I failed to say that CSA spends a lot of time on these things as well. I don't think people really realize the ideas that get floated out there in the legislature that we have to go.
Absolutely.
Chair, I just want to ask, can this presentation be sent to us?
I believe the clerk has it, and so absolutely.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay,
Anything else? Jennifer, thank you for your time. I need to do a programming announcement. We're going to go into an exec session at 10:30. So I don't know. We have our, how long will it take to do the purchasing division report? Not long? Okay.
She can speak like the disclaimer on ads. Come on.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors, Chairman and Vice Chairman. I'm Tracy Gorman, Purchasing Manager, and this is the Purchasing Division Report for November 5th, 2025. Please be advised that the backup documentation as originally submitted was correct. However, the cover sheet was missing requisition number 175044 to Danson Construction under the cooperative purchasing requisitions over $250,000. The cover sheet in this purchasing division report have been updated. In this report, the board is requested to approve 2 contract awards, one for IFB 261526 for PCSO Jail Administrative Renovation and Reentry Program Facility, IFB 261627 Pinal County Facilities Management Office Warehouse. There are 3 cooperative purchasing agreements we'd like to notify you of, as they are between $100,000 and $250,000. We are seeking approval of 6 cooperative purchase requisitions over $250,000. There is 1 purchase order change that requires your approval per Procurement Code Section PC1-502. And lastly, staff recommends the Purchasing Division report is approved as presented with the updated cover sheet and original backup documentation. I would ask for any questions.
Any questions? Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to approve item number 5 with the presentation with the updated cover sheet and original backup documentation.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I suggest that I get a motion to go into exec session.
Mr. Chair, I move we recess the regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors and convene executive session.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. We're
Chair.
in exec session.
Chairman, if I may, just for the record so that the public is aware which executive session we're going into, it's going to be executive session agenda item number 19 at the request of the county attorney's office.
I didn't say 19? I might not have. I'm sorry, everybody. It's item 19. Going to exec session for.
I don't have to do that.
Oh, you don't?
I'm being told I don't have to do that.
Well, let's go back into regular session.
Reconvene the regular Board of Supervisors meeting.
We'll move to item number 20 on the agenda.
Okay.
Okay. I think I got that right.
Open anyway, right?
So, board's pleasure on this item?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve item 20 for the Pinal County Attorney's Office Chief Deputy for the County Attorney William Bill Wallace at a salary of $196,714.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you. All right, we'll get back into the regular order, which should bring us to, I believe, consent agenda. So, all items indicated alphabetically below will be handled by a single vote as part of the consent agenda, unless the board member, county manager, or a member of the public objects at the time the agenda item is called. So it looks like Ms. Kennedy has requested to pull item F. Okay, we got a nod there. Anybody on the board have anything they want pulled? County manager? From the public. Please come forth and tell us. Wait, come up to the microphone, identify yourself so we can, and then tell us which ones you want. So it's for the record.
I'm Dia Podolsky, AK, and then the simple one is everything under adult probation, and I'm just interested in why it's all retroactive.
AK, and then everything under
adult probation, because it's all approval, discussion, blah, 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 of a retroactive acceptance. And it all started in July 1st, and we all know it's November, and I just wonder why it wasn't done in July. Okay? But AK is a different thing.
Okay. Yeah, AK to A, and then AS through, I think. Anyone else from the public want anything pulled?
Item B under the Public Health Services.
B under public health.
B or Boyd or?
B. B as in boy.
B and then Boyd. Okay.
Chairman, if I may, just to confirm, item B is under the public health district. Okay, so we have not made it to that agenda
we
yet.
haven't gotten to that agenda item yet.
Okay. Well, when you do
We'll get to,
item B.
you'll want B pulled.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is that all? Mr. Rubeles?
Mr. Chairman, even though the person who requested AK shares a ride with me, we don't collaborate, and so I too would like to pull AK.
Okay. All right. Let's pull it. So, all right. All right. Is everybody clear? Is that it? All right. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve consent items A through AZ minus the withdrawal of F and minus AK and AS through AZ.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And K was just withdrawn, so we don't have anything there.
F was withdrawn.
F. AK, who is the presenter on that? Yeah, but who's the staff person? Ross Teeples. This is discussion, approval, or disapproval of a memorandum of agreement, MOU, between Pinal County Sheriff's Office and the United States Border Patrol. Go ahead, Sheriff. You want to discuss this item? Or present this item?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Pinal County, thank you for this opportunity. Sir, I would love to answer any questions that they have with AK. What I can tell you is the residents that I spoke to last night in one of the most effective communities are completely for this MOU. I spoke last night with a large group of people in Silver Bell Estates, and they overwhelmingly was thankful for the Sheriff's Office continued support with our anti-smuggling unit and working with HSI, because they said it is a night and day difference. They can now go out and enjoy their area around them. They can go hiking. They can ride their horses. The one gentleman said he's actually pleased with the fact that now when he recovers the carpet shoes and the backpacks, they're all old. He has gone out several times in the last couple of weeks where he can't even find new carpet shoes and new backpacks in Silver Bell Estates. And as your Mr. Chairman and the board is well aware, that area was being overrun in the last 2 years. So thank you very much, and I'd love to answer any questions you, Mr. Chairman, the board, or they have.
I'll ask the individuals that pulled this item if they have a specific question for the sheriff. Come on up. Ms. Padaski?
Yes, it's not exactly for the sheriff. It's more a procedural kind of thing. It talks about an MOA, and I know if I had been diligent, I probably could have found someplace that MOA was publicized, but I didn't. So I don't really know what is in it, and that's kind of my problem, because this is it's one of the big issues facing us is immigration, and to just approve something, an MOA, which I haven't read, or I imagine most people haven't read, it's a procedural thing. I wish you had it here. I could have read it, and then I could have said, yay. And as I said, I'm sure it's available. Natasha does a fantastic job. She's much better at her job than I am at being a consumer of information. And that's my whole thing. Okay.
There it is. It's on the screen.
It's not on my agenda.
No, but it's on the screen right now.
It's not on what was handed to me when I walked in.
No, but it's on the screen.
Yeah, okay. Okay. I will go back to my seat and dutifully read it. But anyway, that's my thing. If it would have been attached, I would have read it to this before. And as I said, I'm not saying it's Natasha's fault. I'm saying it's me. I should have done that, but I didn't. And because I didn't, it's worrisome. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Ravelis, do you have a more specific question, or you?
Well, yes, questions, but a brief discussion. I am a consumer of information, and I would suggest that administratively it would be helpful to the public if there were easy link that would connect to background information so that we wouldn't burden the meeting with asking questions about information that one could have easily linked as a consumer. Just an administrative recommendation. My concern is that this issue of the smuggling of illegal drugs impacts all of us. It impacts even law enforcement of officers who have served Pinal County and their families. The issue is based on, it reflects concerns on two bases, the health issue and law enforcement issue. But it's also dependent on capitalism's classical principles of supply responding to demand. And the issue is too frequently overlooks the demand side and focuses on the result of the supply that could have been prevented if we adopted an approach recognizing the health side of the demand. And so I would hope, again, maybe I'll learn more by reading the memorandum of agreement, that the training for the Border Patrol in particular at this stage would focus on a more professional health-related side that would focus on investigating not only those who are smuggling, and the largest documented number of importers are U.S. citizens who bring illegal drugs through the ports of entry. That's an undisputed fact. The other emphasis I'd like to place is that look at providing health resources for the frail victims of illegal consumption. And so the questions are, and maybe I'll find it in the MOA if the sheriff doesn't have the answer today, does the MOA provide for training of the Border Patrol in particular to detect the health-related consumers that are pulling the illegal smuggling? And are they also being trained that in looking at the U.S. citizen, that they be alert to avoid what has been happening in plain sight now, violation of U.S. citizens' civil liberties? Thank you for this extended rhetorical question, but part of the discussion that I think is meaningful, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Thank you. Sheriff Ross, is there anything you want to address?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Pinal County, my college professor taught me never to answer rhetorical questions, so unless you gentlemen have questions, I don't have an answer.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I guess I do have a question then for you. I mean, how does the training work with the Border Patrol and the Sheriff's Office? Where is that interaction, and is there an interaction of that type of training, just on a general basis?
On a general basis, the training is multifaceted. Border Patrol has different units. One of the units, Borstar, is actually a search and rescue unit. Our search and rescue deputies work closely with them. Most of our missing person calls in southern Arizona happen to be on the Tonawanda Reservation, which makes it Border Patrol's issue. You gentlemen have been so gracious to allow us to have a Huey helicopter, and quite honestly, that's one of its primary missions, is to fly in Border Patrol agents with our search and rescue deputies to help individuals that are in need, that got lost, ran out of water, that sort of stuff. That's one measure of the training. But the training that primarily deals with this MOU is interdiction. We're looking for the drug smugglers that come in. The video that Mr. Rebellis referenced a couple meetings back, that individual that brought in 5 million fentanyl pills was not a U.S. citizen. And we work closely together with that. The other training is it's really not a training MOU so much as it is a cooperation MOU. If you guys just noticed my press release from yesterday, it was our close working with HSI that got us to get a extremely dangerous individual off the street. He had over 1,900 child sexual abuse images on his devices that we have found so far today. And that was working with our federal partners.
To an administrative side of things, if we go to the website and pull up on our agenda, are the backup documents available? This is more to
Natasha.
Ms. Kennedy.
Yes, Chairman. What you see on the screen now is actually the website. That's the actual device that is utilized during the actual board meetings. This is what the public also sees when they go to the website. And so if you click on every single agenda item, for example, if we click on agenda item AK,
that's what I thought.
What comes up is under attachments. That is where that MOU is, and that is for every single agenda item on the agenda.
It's a double click, but it's there. You got to go through the process. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if I have undiagnosed OCD, but I know that they get attached, but before I come to these meetings, I double click on them to make sure that the right attachment gets put on there. And Natasha's awesome.
I know. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Unless anybody has any other questions at this time. All right. We've heard the concerns, but the board's pleasure on item AK.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item AK as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Okay. And we'll do our best to try and keep that information out there. Now, we're at AS through AZ, adult probation, and is John Fury here?
Good morning, John Fury, Chief Probation Officer. Good morning, Chair, Supervisors. The short answer is we had a long-lasting employee here of 30 years, Kelly Ball, retire, who was honored at the board last month. She was our budget analyst. We have somebody in that role now kind of doing her previous job and that job. So it's a learning curve, and then the new software that is it Agenda Quick? Yeah. So just a lot of learning curve with new employee in that role and the new software. But this money was allocated to us for this full fiscal year, mostly for salary, for drug testing, for sex offender counseling, imperative for our operations.
Okay, well, if you don't mind stepping back, we'll see if there's a specific question to this item.
No, his explanation was perfect.
Is that okay?
New employee transition.
Okay. Okay. All right. Board's pleasure on items AS through AZ.
And Ms. Kennedy, may we do this all at once, or do we need to do that? Okay. Mr. Chair, I move that we approve consent items AS through AZ as presented.
Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Go to flood control. Recess more. find it. God dang. I need better thumbs or something here. There we go. Stop it. All right. I'm going to recess the Board of Supervisors meeting, and I'm going to open up the Pinal County Flood Control District meeting. We have consent items. All items indicated by an alphabetically below will be handled as a single part of the consent agenda, and unless a board member, the county manager, or a member of the public requests something to be pulled. Anybody on the board? County manager? From the public on the flood control district? Seeing none, board's pleasure on items, looks like A through C.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve consent items A through C on the Pinal County Flood Control District Board of Directors agenda.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. I'm going to recess the flood control district meeting, and I'm going to open up the.
You're not. No,
We're going to adjourn.
Adjourn. What did I say? Going to adjourn the flood control. We're going to open up the public health services. It is all items indicated by an alphabetical below will be handled as a single vote as part of the consent agenda unless a board member, county manager, or member of the public objects at the time the agenda item is called. We know that we are having item B pulled from the public. Anybody on the board have any of the others? Okay, county manager. Anybody else from the public? Okay, it looks like item B. Mr. Reck.
Noel Reck from Eloy. I have some questions. How does item B relate to the previous WIC funding request that was given 3 weeks ago? How does it relate to the ongoing battle over the SNAP benefits? And what is the significance of the last line in the item where it says, receipt of the award amount identified in Amendment 2 is contingent upon release of federal funding? And with the government shutdown and the question about funding in general, what is the significance of that?
Okay, we'll see if we can get an answer.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors, Marissa Mendoza, Public Health Director. I'm happy to answer all of those questions. If I miss one, please remind me. This request is for an amendment to the current 5-year IGA that we have with the Arizona Department of Health Services. So this is something that we do every year. We bring an amendment to this contract. It changes every year based on how many clients we serve. So this doesn't have anything to do with our request from the last board meeting. This is something that happens every October, November. So this is just that standard contract. Related to the last item, or the last sentence in the item, this contract is being put in place because we expect funding to come. WIC is generally bipartisan support, so we don't have any indication that this would not be funded, but because the federal government is shut down right now, they're not sending us funding. We are asking for this to be approved so it's in place when the funding's available. Oh, and SNAP, right? WIC and SNAP do serve some same participants, but this is just for WIC. The county does not administer the SNAP program. That's all through DES. Any other questions, sir? Any questions from the board?
No, I don't think so. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, we haven't voted on anything. Can we do them all at once? Okay. So, board's pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to approve, drop my glasses, the Health Department A, B, and C as written on consent agenda.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. And I'm going to adjourn the public health and reopen up the Pinal County Board of Supervisors regular meeting. Brings us to call to the public. A call to the public, okay, thank you, is a time and period for the members of the public to address the Board of Supervisors, to provide public input related to subject matters within the Board of Supervisors' authority and jurisdiction. Those wishing to address the Board of Supervisors need not request permission in advance. Actions taken as a result of the public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter and reschedule it in a further and for further consideration and discussion at a later date. I have a small stack of cards here. I'll start with those, and then I'll reach out to the public. So, Ralph Chu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Board. Ralph Atchu from Eloy. I'm here today asking the Pinal County Board to reconsider the Freepoint Ecosystems chemical recycling plant in Eloy. Construction is set to begin in 2026. The facility's regulatory status is under review because the county's Air Quality Control District erroneously classifies it as manufacturing, while the state sees it as waste treatment, which would require stricter pollution controls. Freepoint is now seeking a recycling exemption. This exemption would remove requirements for continuous emissions monitoring, public reporting, and advanced pollution controls. This chemical recycling facility should not be exempt from stricter air pollution controls or regulatory oversight due to the nature of its operations and likely emissions. The facility will use pyrolysis technology to heat plastic waste in a low oxygen environment to break it down. The process will release a wide range of air pollutants, including toxic emissions such as benzene, toluene, dioxins, and furans, many of which are cancer-causing. Polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons that can cause long-term effects, fine soot and dust that penetrate deep into the lungs and bloodstream, increasing risks of asthma, heart disease, and stroke. Acid gases and metals such as hydrogen chloride, along with metals like lead, mercury, nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, which also contribute to respiratory inflammation. Currently, only 10 to 30% is being used to create new plastic. The pyrolysis outputs are more likely to produce toxic chemicals, but not new plastic products. I respectfully request that the Pinal County Board have the Air Quality Control District hold a public hearing on the facility's regulations for greater transparency, especially due to uncertainties about the pyrolysis technology for plastic waste. By facilitating public input, Pinal County can ensure that community concerns are heard and considered before any exemptions or regulatory changes are granted. This approach would also allow for thorough review of the facility's proposed operations and its potential health and environmental effects, holding Freeport accountable for meeting enhanced air pollution regulations. I'm providing the board with a copy of a briefing paper put together by retired Illinois EPA Pollution Prevention Manager Kevin Green, who is also available to provide this board with additional data. And I'm asking that the board ask staff to schedule a meeting with Mr. Green. Pinal County residents deserve to be fully informed of this impending hazard. Thank you.
Thank you. Todd Boradam? Small Business?
Thank you for having me. I'm Todd Broadman. I'm with the Small Business Association's Office of Disaster Recovery.
and it's an honor to be here, and thank the Board of Supervisors for having me, and Town Manager. We are present here from the SBA to provide financial assistance to disaster survivors, specifically in Globe and Miami, from the event that occurred at the end of September, the flooding event. We have 2 operations centers there, taking applications from those who need financial assistance to get back on their feet again. This is from homeowners, from renters, from small businesses, as well as nonprofits. And I'm here in Pinal County because subsequent to that particular event, surrounding counties to Pinal to Gila County, were declared as part of that disaster. So if anyone here in the room or the board in your constituencies were affected, business owners in particular, then we would like to know about that and have them step forward and at least look at financial assistance options through the SBA. So I just want to mention that, a couple of contact points there. 1-800-659-2955. Again, that's 1-800-659-2955. It's in your packets. You'll see that number. Also for the public, www.sba/disaster. Okay, that's a simple one, sba.gov/disaster, and then you can fill out an application online. My email is in the packet there for if you need future information. So I'm open for any questions you might have.
Oh, we can't discuss, so
okay.
No question.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Dee Podesky?
Hi. My name is Dee Podesky, and I live in unincorporated Pinal County, home of the Action, Tohoto O'odham, and Gila River people. Sometime I will get proclamation protocol down, but this is Native American Heritage Month. On the door in my classroom, I had a poster that read, "Trust, keep your word." I am one of the 40+% of voters who identify as independent. I'm also one of the over 60% of the population that believes the country is headed in the wrong direction. Decades of politicians failing to heed the words on my classroom poster has led us to this point. No political party or movement has a monopoly on failure to keep its promises. But currently, Republicans are in control. At our last meeting, you were asked to advocate for the seating of Adelia Alva. It has been over 30 days, and she has still not been seated. Speaker Johnson has justified this by saying Pelosi waited 20 days to seat a member, which is true, but the member had requested the delay because her husband was ill. When it is pointed out that he swore in to Republicans when the House was on informal session, Johnson tells us it was different. Their families were in town to see the ceremony, providing representation to 813,289 people. Some who live in Pinal County should be a higher priority than disturbing the plans of 2 families. Speaker Johnson's final defense is to blame the fact that the House is not in session on Democrats and their demand for money to fund Medicaid coverage for illegal aliens. His terminology, not mine. A quick fact check reveals undocumented immigrants are not eligible for Medicaid or for tax credits to purchase marketplace lands. I am certain Speaker Johnson knows this. He just thinks the people don't. I frequently use literature to boast my arguments. Today, I'm going to talk about 2 movies. Both of them are available on Amazon, and they represent 2 different views of American politics. They are very, very old. This is not a new problem. The first is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, which was released in 1929. Jefferson Smith embodies idealism and the belief that there are honest men in politics who work for the good of the people. The other is All the King's Men from 1949. This movie follows the career of Willie Stark and his descent from idealism to being a ruthless politician. We need more Jefferson Smiths to regain the trust that has been eroded by years of unkept promises and outright lies. Thank you.
Thank you. Noah James Markham.
Aloha to the Pinal Board of Supervisors. My name is Noah James Markham. I live in the great city of Tempe. I am a proud Blue Democrat. I know that you guys are in an agreement with the 285G agreement with ICE and putting your illegal aliens inside your prisons here in Florence. I hope that you guys can stop the agreement with ICE because some of my family members in the past had to go through something like this, but worse. It was to do with Japanese Americans after Pearl Harbor was bombed. And then we had an executive order signed by the president at the time to put all Japanese Americans into internment camps. 2 were here in Arizona, and other camps were in other states of America, including Hawaii too. These internment camps should have never taken place, but of course, we, the Japanese, had to fight World War II to end the war. But we also felt betrayed by America. The only way you would have won that war was because of the Japanese Americans that were wrongly accused of being the Japanese Nazis. They were Japanese Americans. Thanks to my grandfather that fought in World War II. That was Japanese too, not Japanese Nazis. The Japanese Americans were stripped away from all civil rights, and that was called a concentration camp in America time. So I hope that this board will not follow along any longer with the 289G ICE agreement because these people are normal human beings. Most of them are not illegal aliens. Also, I ask that you guys make more places to eat around here and start building more and more. I hope that the sheriff department here can be the first in the world in the country to be more aware and more responsible about people with disabilities. I also ask that you hire more women sheriff officers. We need more women sheriff officers. Mahalo and thank you for listening to me this morning.
Thank you. Mr. Barry McCain.
Morning, Chair Miller, Pinal County Board of Supervisors. My name is Barry McCain, born and raised in Pinal County after 20 years in the United States Navy. I wish to use my experience for Pinal County voters and residents. Having 151 credit hours of college is a plus. Question, is it more important to have a building standing than feeding a person that will build the standing building? Cronyism that I saw on Maricopa City Council for years is now here on this board. This is why I was compelled to speak up for the county attorney who must answer to an ethics board, but due process can be slow at times. Cronyism is defined as appointment of friends or associates to a position of authority without proper regard to their qualifications. Very deceitful, destructive to our republic that we have. I wish to point out that it also violates the open meeting law and results political bullying, which I've experienced since 2014. Much of my training in logic explains why Chair Miller did not keep decorum, which is his job, on February the 5th of this year, when Mr. Vitoli verbally assaulted me and threatened me, a constituent. The integrity of this board is very important to the citizens and voters of Pinal County. Yet now District 1 doesn't have a representative because Mr. Vitoli is subservient to Mr. Miller, who brags that he only has a high school diploma. Don't get me wrong, neither committed a crime, but want Pinal County to think that they want justice, just as they're both mere puppets. Now there's another lawsuit for over voting violation. Unchecked ignorance leads to chaos and failure. I ask Supervisors McClure, Goodman, and Surtee to hold them both accountable and responsible to Pinal County voters for their insubordination.
Is it George Hollenbach?
That's correct.
George?
Good morning, Supervisors, Chairman Miller, Vice Chairman McClure. My name is George Hollenbach. I am a site developer in Pinal County. My second project is called Cocopelli Estates, MLD number 08-0064. Cocopelli Estates has been surveyed twice, has been reviewed twice, has been approved twice. The deeds have been recorded with the fee numbers, but no parcel numbers have been issued. I'd like to read a message I received from District 4 Manager. First, I want to apologize for the inconvenience. After chatting with some of our professionals involved, I feel it comes down to an overinterpretation of the portion of our MLD regulations which require deeds to be recorded within a specific time frame. Your goal is to execute the 2008 split via the deeds recorded in July 2025 to receive parcel numbers. An updated MLD record is somewhat irrelevant to that purpose, so I apologize that things were interpreted in that way. At this point, we do not need an updated application for an MLD. I'm attaching a refund slip. I have reached out to the assessor's office regarding the deeds recorded in July 2025. They confirmed that the deeds are within their queue and that the age of the survey has no bearing on finalizing things through the deeds. They will refer to the legal descriptions within the deeds to execute the parcels. Thank you for reading, and again, my deepest apologies. It's been my position for 20 months. I agree entirely with what the district manager messaged me. The original approval in 2008 is and has always been valid. The deeds recorded in July 2025 are applicable to the approval of 2008. The county MLD application process was unnecessary and money should be refunded. Unfortunately, the parcel numbers are languishing in the assessor's office. I have become suspicious and mistrustful. There's no end game here. So I would respectfully ask the supervisors to consider intervening on my behalf with Assessor Wolf, asking to expedite the parcel numbers so I can move forward with Pinal County. Thank you much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's all the cards I have. Is there anybody else from the public that would like to speak? Name and generally where you live.
This was left behind. Yes, I'm Noel Reck from Eloy. First, I want to commend the county for the veteran celebration being held later this afternoon. They can never be thanked enough. Unfortunately, part of my time requires a response to an attack from a board member at the last meeting. This is the second time I've dealt with his attacks, and I'm at a loss to understand why he seeks further humiliation. First in the Casa Grande Dispatch, and then here today. He asserted I cowardly admit his name when appealing to the rest of the board because I'm afraid of his strong, manly responses. I'm not surprised that in his vain arrogance, that was the basis for his attack. To set the record straight, I'm not afraid of him, his words, in any way, shape, or form. A conspiracy theorist for whom I have no respect, an insignificant nonentity. So I don't say his name or include him in my request. Using the recent request for WIC funding and the political game of not swearing in Representative Grijalva as examples, it's troubling he's willingly blind to the effects state and federal actions have on the county and the need to bring them to light. If he wants to believe the big lies that the 2020 election was stolen, which was debunked by the $1 million cyber ninjas, and FBI plants inside the January 6th insurrection, sadly, that's his right, and another reason to disregard him. Likewise, childishly suggesting the stunt of recruiting MAGA supporters to speak tit for tat with progressives who regularly sincerely speak before the board, seeing it as their civic duty, speaks poorly to his character and membership on the board. Again, I don't want to hear him drone on from the dais with his MAGA rhetoric. If he wants to attack, let it be during calls of the public, as he did at the last meeting. In fact, I encourage him. Every lie and accusation shows who and what he is for all to see, particularly the voters in his ruby red district who must ask themselves, is this really who we want representing us? Any Republican, independent, or Democrat would be far better. Beyond all this foolishness, what I'd really like to see is topics of concern agendized so that an exchange of views from the board and constituents can be freely voiced and evaluated. Now, moving on, in the interest of Pinal County and Arizona having full representation in the House, I again ask the county to submit an amicus brief to the suit filed by Chris Mays to have Representative Grijalva sworn in immediately. May I suggest a co-signed open letter to the Arizona Republican Congressional Contingent and Speaker Johnson demanding she be sworn in, a letter that could be submitted to their offices, the Arizona Republic, the Casa Grande Dispatch, and any other media outlet seeing the need to present this salient and urgent demand. Supervisors Miller, Goodman, McClure, and Vitiello, I ask for a response to my requests. Yes, no, not sure, it doesn't matter. I would hope it would be yes, but today I want to know my requests are being heard and respected, regardless of your answer. Requests well within your authority and jurisdiction that I have to be critical in order for you to respond were not taken up at the last meeting. Thank you very much.
Anyone else from the public?
Roberto Ravelis, resident of Gold Canyon, and yes, I do exchange opinions and views with the previous speaker. But, Mr. Chairman, at the October 15 Board of Supervisors meeting, Mr. Jeff Surtees, speaking during call to the public, revived the two most divisive political issues facing our nation since the Civil War. Without evidence, the discredited big lie that the 2020 presidential election was stolen from candidate Donald Trump, and the claim that the January 6, 2021 violent insurrectionist attack against the Capitol was instigated by 275 FBI agents involving hundreds more so-called assets. Mr. Surtees' assertion of a stolen election goes counter to every judicial court that found no evidence supported those accusations. Even Trump's FBI Director, Kash Patel, a few days ago, disputed President Trump's accusation FBI involvement. Mr. Patel said, the agents were sent into a crowd control mission after the riot was declared by Metro Police, unquote. Mr. Patel further clarified on Platform X that the FBI agents were responding to the attack, not being there prior to it. Additionally, Arizona's 2021 Republican legislature's Cyber Ninja stolen election audit failed to find any fraud. Mr. Chairman, Pinal County cannot afford to keep reviving discredited big lie propaganda that sets back efforts to reestablish confidence in our maligned elections. Moreover, baseless statements on stolen elections and January 6th FBI insurrection instigators suggest that these irresponsible remarks are in some way a perversely designed distraction to distract from the board's failure to push back against Trump administration's increased burden on American families to provide tax relief for tax billionaires. How else explain the board's silence on Trump's cuts to affordable Medicaid, health care, to public education, affordable housing, paid road construction, clean energy production, public lands production, and cuts to the incentives related to electric vehicles and EV charging infrastructure that directly hurt our county's economy? I agree with Mr. Surtee and other board members that call to the public remarks should provide public input relating to subject matter within the Board of Supervisors' authority or jurisdiction. Surely these actions are hurting our county. Quoting a recent departed person, I dare you to place this on the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anyone else from the public? I guess we all were mentioned it at one level or another. Supervisor Surtee?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Ravelis, for having the courage to mention my name. And you'll notice we have new wording on the call to the public. Provide public input related to subject matter within the Board of Supervisors' authority and jurisdiction. We really don't want to hear national partisan nonsense. Take that to a national forum. We're here to do the business of the county. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. McCain, just in case you don't have my business card and my address and my phone number, I'll leave that here for you, and you're more than welcome at any time to call my office and make an appointment, and we'll be happy to meet with you. Thank you.
Did they have anything on you? Okay, you got. My name was mentioned about a February 5th meeting. I believe that I did something improper. I will go back and look at that, but I believe I simply offered Supervisor Rich to respond to his name. But nevertheless, I will investigate February 5th meeting and see what I did wrong. Thank you. Okay, moving along. Item number 10 has a public hearing component. And let's see here, discussion, approval, disapproval of resolution 2025 RNC. Who's presenting? Okay, come forth. Your name and your presentation.
Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, members of the board. Benjamin Coker from Development Services. RNC 001-25 is a resident-initiated proposal to rename West Cocklebur Drive to West Los Cabos Drive. West Cocklebur Drive is located in an unincorporated portion of Pinal County in Supervisor District 2. It's approximately 392 feet starting at North Barley Lane and ending in a cul-de-sac within the Santan Shadows Unit 2 subdivision. The petitioners have all signed a majority of the petitioners have signed the petition. Only two missing are two that the homes were not sold at that time. It affects a total of 8 parcels, and we don't see any potential cost to the county other than possibly changing the signs. Are there any questions on this?
Any questions on this item? It does have a public comment period or a portion to this item. So I'm going to open up the public hearing. Anybody like to speak to it? I'll close the public hearing. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 10 as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Natasha, I need to ask a quick question. I failed to ask staff to take some of those issues that were brought before at the public hearing to direct to county manager's office to address them. Is it okay to do that now, or am I doing it by saying that?
Yes, Chairman, if you just announce that you're going back to the call to public as the chair, you do have that authority to do so and give staff directive.
Okay, and then I'm going to go back to a public comment period because I do want to have county manager's office to look into the air quality for sure, and then there was one other. What was it? Oh, the assessors and the assessors and the parcel numbers and the fees and what have you. So we can get those on the agenda. I apologize for failing to do that at the time I was supposed to. Okay. We'll go back in order. We're on item number 11. It has a public hearing component to it as well. It's a discussion of a resolution 2025 SUP 00925.
Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Supervisors. My name is Valentin Panchenko, Senior Planner. I'm here to present to you case SUP 00925. The presentation was amended with received public comment from SRP, and I am sharing the copies of that letter. I will speak about the content of that letter at the public comments section. This is the request for special use permit to install and operate a new 90-foot high wireless communication facility for AT&T carrier, designed as a palm cell tower and with 95 feet with palm branches. That's located within the Pinal County Fairground, next to the intersection of Hackler Line and 11 Mile Corner. This is a general location of the site. This is the largest site, and the proposed wireless communication facility will be in the bottom right corner of the parcel. This parcel is zoned as CB2, commercial with PED, but it's abutted into residential general rural to the north. There is no currently occupied any residential, it's vacant, but still it's a busting, and the county code requires a wireless communication facility to be stealth design if it's a busting residential properties. This is a vicinity map. It's surrounded by the city of Coolidge. Aerial map. This is a view on the property. You will see also existing cell tower. It's 85 feet cell tower that already was approved in 2017 as SUP. To the east, to the west, notice signs. So historically, that's Pinal County Fairground. There are existing animal control facility right to the south of proposed site. There was a previously approved SUP for 85-foot monopalm with 89 feet with fronts. And there is no residential just next to that location. There is only GR to the north without any residential occupants. So this is request about pole monopole. The maximum height of the pole will be 90 foot. With branches, it will be 95. The county stealth design requirements allows to have only 80 feet for the palms, and this is exceeding the regular county requirements for stealth design. Otherwise, if that will meet stealth design requirements, they doesn't need to go through special use permits. It's allowed to place, but they are asking for higher stealth design monopole. And they also will use this monopole for First Responder Network Authority to place some pieces of their equipment on that pole. Related to the existing palm for Verizon, county code requires to place any collocations within the palm pineapple That's why they cannot collocate on that existing pole any other, because it's already full with equipment, and the other carrier asked for another monopalm because they cannot do collocation on existing palm. This is a site plan. You will see one existing palm and one proposed to the north. This is site plan specifically for the proposed special use permit. This is comparison of two of them. Smaller one is existing, higher one is proposed. Generally speaking, the monopalm that applicant is proposing is only exceeding the maximum height allowed by the county for the stealth design and exemption from SCP. No other difference between other requirements for stealth design. Applicant is going to fulfill those requirements, and we are putting some stipulations so they will meet palm stealth design requirements. Also, additionally, we are putting regulation about lighting. Previous SCP included lighting zone 1 for this location, while the code provision for commercial is lighting zone 2. So we are also putting stipulation for this cell tower, so any lighting should be restricted to lighting zone 1 as for any residential. So it will be complement the same conditions as other SCP. That's about stipulation number 8. They meet all setback requirements. Proposed cell tower also meet full zone requirements next to the existing one, so there is no issues with the location of this monopole next to existing one. There was received no letters of opposition from the members of public. Just recently we received a comment from SRP that it's next to transmission lines, so they have some provisions for site plan review for those developments next to transmission lines, and staff forwarded that letter to the applicant, and that will be a requirement for the applicant to get SRP review before site plan review will be approved by the county. And applicant will speak about they contacted the SRP and about their response regarding this comment that I shared earlier with the board. Commission recommended, Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval for this special use permit with subject to 15 stipulations as outlined in the staff report. If the board has any questions to the staff.
Any questions?
Just quickly, Mr. Chairman. It's 5 feet taller. Is this just, I mean, maybe you don't know, and maybe the applicant is here, but is 5 feet taller just for line of sight, or is it just because they could only find a 90-foot pole?
From the Planning and Zoning Commission questions, applicant answered that it was engineers' request to do 90 and 95, so that was something from engineering portion of this cell tower. But I think applicant will be able to describe that.
Are they willing to wrap them for the holidays like the other palm trees to make them really cool? I mean, because
Didn't you see all that lighting? Come on. Is the applicant here?
Just question.
Yes. Is the applicant here?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I just got one question about
okay.
Sorry. What happens if SRP has an issue? Are they going to move this back away from the lines, or is that something they can answer? It's a stipulation, I assume, so that way it's covered?
We do not have stipulation as of today because it was just arrived recently. But board can add this stipulation because I used to add stipulation from APCOR and other jurisdiction when they were ahead of time. Let's say, yes, we can put that as additional stipulation here, but I heard from applicant that they contacted and they got respond, and I didn't have this email, so I believe that applicant can speak what they heard about this request from SRP.
Right. We just don't want to have it where we approve it and then all of a sudden, oh, we approved it, now we got to move it, now it's financially an issue. So I just want to make sure that No burden is on us if we approve this.
On us.
Anyway, Planning Division will request SRP during SPR process, but I think if the applicant is honest regarding SRP answer for their request, then it may be not relevant.
Thanks.
Okay, well, before I open up the public hearing, is the applicant here to respond to those questions?
Hi, my name is Bill Koning with SmartLink, representing AT&T. In regards to the SRP question, Valentin forwarded me the email. I went through their whole process online, and the response I got back from Mike at SRP was that this is not in their service area to contact the power provider in that area, which I confirmed with our construction guy is ED2. So I'm not too sure what SRP was asking there. I'm going to follow up with Mike. This just happened yesterday, so I'll follow up with them to confirm. But as far as being too close to the power lines, I don't imagine that's going to be an actual concern with them. We've done a lot of these that are within the same distance, and the other pole's right there too, but I will certainly confirm with SRP because I also want to find out, because it's the first time they've contacted me in regards to something like this.
And it's an ED? It's an ED? It's not even SRP's line?
Well, the line may be SRP, but ED2 is, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I know the ED2 is our power provider there. I confirmed that with our construction guy, but I will look into it. I just forwarded the email to our we have a coordinator that works with all the power companies, utilities. I haven't heard from him yet. I'm sure that he's going to resolve it instantly. So.
Okay. Well, the burden will not be on Pinal County.
No.
So, any other questions? I'm going to open up the public hearing at this time. Anybody from the public like to comment on this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I motion to approve item 11 with the 15, or should I say 16 now, stipulations? No, right?
No.
15 stipulations.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. I'm going to take the prerogative of the chair, and I'm going to move to item number 15. We're going to have a hard stop, I believe, at noon. Is that correct, Natasha? So, and I see a number of people that are waiting, and they probably have a lot of wild kids at their schools, and they want to get back and check on them. So I'm going to come, and I'm going to move to item number 15.
Well, thank you, Chairman, and good morning, Vice Chair and members of the board. I'm Jacob Harmon, the Chief Financial Officer with Maricopa Unified School District, and I represent both Maricopa Unified, the Casa Grande Elementary and Casa Grande Union High School districts. The superintendents of all three districts are present at the meeting. We have a minor boundary adjustment before you this morning. This falls under Arizona Revised Statutes 15460C, which allows a minor boundary adjustment with a signed petition of the majority of electors in the area, as well as approval of the governing boards of the school districts involved. This is for a 5 square mile area in the eastern portion of the city of Maricopa. There are currently 8 registered voters in that area, but plan to have over 8,000 houses and development in at least one of those developments is starting currently. About 2,500 students over the next 10 years. This is best for students. Students in this 5 square mile area would be 20 miles away from a Casa Grande school, whereas they're a mile or two away from a Maricopa Unified school. Happy to answer any other questions you may have, but we're seeking your approval today.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Any questions? Seeing none, board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I move we...
Oh,
no, I'm not going to ask you a question. Mr. Chair, I move we approve item 15 as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you all. We can. So why don't we move up to 14 and get Dana? Discussion, approval, or disapproval of a designated both primary.
Good morning, members of the board, Chairman Miller, Dana Lewis, Pinal County Recorder, and we're coming to ask how it's worded, the approval of the designation of a primary and substitute person in accordance with 16477. To put this forward to the board in plain talk is we have election equipment that we as individuals in the elections department do not have the ability to go in, break seals, and upload or update any of our hardware or software. We're required to utilize the vendor to make sure of audit processes. We always ensure that we have bipartisan or other people available to accomplish that task because we don't want our machines to be decertified. And so we, as the elections department or anybody who reports to me, does not have the ability to accomplish this task. So we've reached out to the information technology department and have requested their support in this. They have provided name for Jeffrey Lindsay and Robert Burgett to accomplish this task on our behalf. I can stand for questions.
Any questions of Dana? Seeing none. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve item 14 as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Sure.
Second.
Do I need to name the persons because that's what you're telling me? You're going to have to say. So
Oh.
I move that we approve item 14 as presented with,
Jeffrey Lindsay and Robert Burgett.
thank you very much, with those people.
Does that work? Okay. Getting a smile out of her. Okay. That's the motion.
That's the
Do
motion.
I have a second? I can't remember.
I seconded it.
You seconded it? Okay. I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you, Dana.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm getting a little punchy, I think. Okay, now we'll go to 12. It has a public hearing component, and you have 9 minutes.
Good morning, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Supervisors. My name is Valentin Panchenko, Senior Planner, here to present to you item 12, CSR-014-025. That's Mountain View Church. That's amended presentation with to reflect the opposition letter received recently by the county, and I am sharing the. I've shared the opposition letter received, and I will speak about that in public portion of the presentation. This is a comprehensive sign package to allow installation of exterior illuminated wall signage consisting of LED pan channel letters and a circular logo on the northeast and northwest building facades of Mountain View Church, with a total signage area of 128.17 square feet. That's located south of intersection of West Hunt Highway and Thompson Road in Santan Valley area, unincorporated Pinal County. The applicant, Dr. Wernet, and agent Eric Reber, Speed Promessa Gilbert, they are present here today. Here's the general location of the property. Here's vicinity map. Here's aerial map. Side pictures with posting. Side photos. Here's the signage. That's a wall logo with the name of the church and the logo itself. That's all that applicant asked, and it will be with LED illuminations. This is signage locations and example how it looks like. After analyzing the sign package, staff made the conclusion that there only one requirements was outside of approved limits, its quantity and area. They have ability to put 24 square feet signage for any institutional use within the residential zone, and this property is zoned as GR, General Rural. But I need to mention that both properties to the west and to the east, they are commercial, CB1 and CB2. But this side is GR, General Rural, and the allowance is 24 square feet, and they have additional 104 square feet to the what they allow it to put. All other requirements, including illuminations, that complies with the code requirement. But because it's more than 25% allowed, that 5 times larger, that requires the Board of Supervisor approval during the public hearings for these kind of requests. Sign Review Committee recommended approval for this case with amended stipulation. Code requires to turn off the illumination limited to be limited to the business hours of operation or until 11 p.m. But during the Sign Review Committee, applicant was agreed to limit until 10 p.m. So that's the amendment to the first stipulation that was done during Sign Review Committee. There was received one letter of opposition that was related to the general extensive lighting from the school to the west of that church and from the church and from the parking itself. There was a request from the customer about the documentation. Staff shared all documentation related to these signages. I also explained it to the person that if they have some concerns about parking lighting, and because they are busing to that west parcel next to current property, and that property is zoned actually as a commercial. They have lighting zone 2. This property has lighting zone 1, the most restrictive in the county. And I explained that if the customer has any concerns that and suspicious that someone might violate code requirements for lighting, they can submit code compliance and then move forward with that. But this signage, they have already the most restrictive lighting zone 1 for residential. We cannot put in any additional according to the code, and the all concern was related to to parking lighting. So I think that customer who was opposing this was pretty much satisfied by the information provided by the staff. If the board has any questions.
Any question? Okay, let me open up the public hearing. Anyone like to speak to this item, 12? Okay, name and generally where you live.
Hi again. My name is Noah James Markham. I'm from the great city of Tempe, and I love this church. This is a great church, and I know that God is watching over all of us, so you can't lie in this county. But yeah, I'm very happy for this, and I feel very blessed to be able to go to that church and feel like I'm welcome, even though there's a lot of Trump fans there, I can tell. But yeah, I love it, and yeah, so we should accept this church. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing no one else, I'm going to close the public hearing. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 12 as presented with 2 stipulations.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you. Think we could get through one more in this section?
Let's give it a shot.
Sure. Okay, item number 13.
Good afternoon, Chairman, Vice Chairman, Supervisors. My name is Valentin Panchenko, Senior Planner, here to present to you item 12, CSR-019. 13, case number CSR-019-25, Hitachi Brothers Santan Valley. That's a comprehensive sign package to allow installation of multiple illuminated and non-illuminated identification signage combined signage area of approximately 262 square feet. That's located in the parcel zoned as general business, and that's at the intersection of Skyline Drive and Gary Road. That's within incorporated town of Santan Valley. The applicant, Skyline and Gary Partners LLC, the agent Robert Plattner, Fusion Sign and Design, he's present here today. Here's the general location. Here's vicinity map. Here's aerial map for the property. And we are receiving a lot of CSR with the board for that location. This is the site photo for the notifications. So generally there are wall signage with 208 square feet. There are freestanding signs with a total in 47 square feet, and there are directional signs. Those signs each less than 4 square feet, and they meet the county requirements, so they're not counting of any extra. But all other wall signage and freestanding signs, they can have up to 125 square feet in total. They have much larger, twice the allowance. This is general site plan of the location of drive-through. This is actual signages for south elevation, for west elevation, for north elevation, for east elevation. This is more enlarged logo signs, menu boards, frames, other monument signs, and directional. So generally speaking, all of that signage is typical for Dutch Brother business. Nothing extra that they just want to put in within Pinal County. That's typical request. They have extra 147 square feet almost that county allows, but all signage is following their other county requirements. They will need to go through a building permit to get those signage installed. So there is no concerns from the staff because it's more than 25% increase of allowances. It need to get board of supervisor review and approval. There was no public comments on these signages, and the sign review committee recommended approval with 4 stipulations. If board has any questions.
Any questions?
Just one comment. It does have directional signs for Supervisor Goodman.
Yeah.
I just want to say that's great.
Right.
I always like those.
Okay, I'm
Thank
going to
you.
open up the public comment period. Anybody from the public like to comment on this item?
It's good to know that our Tempe people come over here to go to Dutch Bros and
Aloha. Again, I know you love me up here. My name is Noah James Markham, and I'm from the great city of Tempe. I love Dutch Bros. It's amazing to have. And the word DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Oh my goodness, that's a great word for this company. So I hope we can have this here. And it's nice because it will be close to churches and they can get more diversity, equity, inclusion. It will be amazing. Yes, so mahalo and thank you for this time.
Thank you. Anyone else like to comment on this item before I close the public hearing? I'm going to close the public hearing. Board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve item number 13 as presented with 4 stipulations.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I would second Supervisor Goodman.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Should we just do one? Is it okay?
You going to go
Mr.
one
Attorney?
more?
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and take item number 16. Who wants to present on item 16? Crime Sense Detect.
Hammering through, baby.
Good morning, Chairman Miller, members of the board. I'm Kimberly Verdugo. I'm the classification and compensation. Oh, sorry. Can't hear me. Is that better? Okay. Sorry. I'll start over. Good morning, Chairman Miller, members of the board. I'm Kimberly Verdugo. I'm the classification and compensation manager, and I'm a...
You're going to get it right. She's going to get it just right.
Thank you. I know. I am here today seeking your approval to create a new job classification of crime scene technician supervisor. This classification is being requested to replace an administrative classification currently assigned to the role. This classification name is consistent with the duties and responsibilities in PCSO and law enforcement community. This position is responsible for supervising the activities of crime scene technicians, including assigning and prioritizing work, training, and evaluation of performance, as well as working in the field, collecting, documenting, and processing evidence at crime scenes. This role does exist in our comparator agencies, and we are requesting that a similar classification be adopted here at Pinal County to support our current and future needs. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
Don't feel bad. Natasha does that to us all the time, so I wouldn't worry about it.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
No. Okay, any other questions pertaining to this agenda item?
It's a great idea.
Seeing none, board's pleasure.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve item 16 as presented.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
17, we're going into exec session. We already are in exec session. I will recess the Board of Supervisors meeting, and we are in exec session. So behave yourselves. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. We have item number 21. Board's pleasure. You need any discussion or any information, anybody?
No, Mr. Chair, I move we approve item 21 as presented, as written.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Natasha, you're looking at me really bad. Are we good? Okay. All right. I thought I messed up again. No other business before this board. This meeting's adjourned.